Well, hello there. It's good afternoon. It's pretty rare for me. I usually like to do this stuff in the morning, but I've had some big projects going on, and this was a post I really have been ruminating over, really been thinking about, because I wanted to talk about a work that has just been seminal to me, and I know a lot of people have talked about this book, but I don't know if there is as much awareness of some of the follow-up work that has happened. If you have not yet read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, I'm basically going to tell you, put whatever else you're reading aside and grab The Four Agreements. This book is so important to me. I have it on my Kindle, which is on my iPad. I have it on an Audible account. So I listen to it on my Droid, I listen to it on my iPad, I listen to it on my computer. I have it in hard form, and I have it in paperback. So basically what I'm telling you is I rarely want to be without that book. The Four Agreements has to do with how we program ourselves, how we have been programmed, and how we choose to interact with others in the world. It is the rare person who naturally has a sense of what is talked about in the Four Agreements. It's a rare person. I have never introduced the Four Agreements to somebody where they weren't blown away within the first read and then have repeatedly read it. So I don't know if many people know, though, unless, if you're not an avid browser of bookstores or whatnot, you might not know that there's a follow-up. So the follow-up is the Four Agreements Companion Book. I have it here in soft cover. This is a book that I highly recommend you get a physical copy of. I happen to be a big fan of the Kindle or any of those e-readers for many reasons. One of them is I choose to live a very transient lifestyle and in a small apartment. So I have all these bookshelves behind me. There's just enough books in there. But this is one that another book that I will always have in physical form. If you have read The Four Agreements, I encourage you to grab this. If you have not yet read The Four Agreements, I encourage you to grab both. And I even know I've seen a great box set which combines the workbook, The Four Agreements, and the Fifth Agreement, which we shall talk about at another time. But the one agreement that I really wanted to dive into a little bit today is the agreement that is number 3, the third agreement. And it's don't make assumptions. And this is directly from the book, Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. When we think about don't make assumptions, think about it in relation to your reactions to somebody's words, to somebody's actions. It can be as mundane as you're at a store and somebody comes and cuts in front of you in the line and you immediately get pissed off. Excuse my language. What you may not know is that they left a sick child back at home. Their mind is not on that line whatsoever. Or even more base, you may not know that this was a person who has never been introduced to really proper manners. They may not have that kind of guidance in their life. Take a deep breath. Do not assume that the person is a jerk, an idiot, ill-intended, all of those things that sort of tend to run through our minds. Don't make an assumption at all. Take it for what it is. Choose your reaction. Choose how you will be, and that's all you have control over. Take the scenario of somebody cutting in line. Are you going to choose to allow somebody else's life circumstances to create negativity in your mind? To create a space of anger, to create annoyance, to be, PO'd, as they say? Or are you going to choose to say, you know what? This person might have something else going on. You don't even have to assume that. You just have to choose your reaction. I want you to really think about that. Think about, again, this is one of the 4 agreements. If you haven't read the 4 agreements, I completely encourage you to do so. But I want you to dive in a little bit deeper. And if you care to, you can take this work to much, much deeper levels. I just gave you an extremely superficial example. However, one that could come up quite frequently, right? Anything that you do in your life, you're standing on a line. Think about your relationships. You can never truly know what is going on in somebody's life, even if it is the person that you sleep with every night. That doesn't, that might be something kind of hard to grasp until you really work with this, but you cannot truly know what somebody goes through, what somebody thinks, what somebody's complete history is. The only person that has that is the person living in that everyday existence. So if you choose to harness your own reaction, if you choose that your actions are based out of love and compassion, and I don't even just mean this in a hoity-toity, soft, dreamlike kind of way. I truly mean feel your energy when somebody interrupts your good day. When you choose to think ill of somebody, choose your energy. Think about it. Can you choose to let it go? Can you choose to see past it? Can you choose to think of that person, have compassion, and move on? You can. I'm going to encourage you to do that. We tend to repeat patterns in our lives. This is something I am constantly working on. If you know me personally, you might know of a relationship that is a daily struggle for me. That's okay. I've put into action what I've learned in the companion workbook to the 4 agreements. And it's daily. But it's a matter of deciding that you're going to work through some of these things. And I find that it really helps to have a course of action. I find that it really helps to have something that I read every day or pay attention to or a journal that I write in. I am making tremendous strides on that relationship. That's pretty cool. That's a life changer right there, that I'm making strides on that relationship. And I'm doing it because of work that the 4 Agreements companion book has brought to me. Now, if you've read the 4 Agreements or want to read the 4 Agreements or interested to discuss this further with maybe some people who are very interested, I want to let you know that I'm actually in the process of starting up a discussion group around some of these ideas. Not just the 4 Agreements, but sort of these ideas of becoming a more evolved a person who takes their actions and is very thoughtful about them and how they interact with others. Please make sure that you're on my email list. I'm actually going to put the capture at the bottom of this the blog where this is posted. So if you're just seeing this on If you're just seeing this on YouTube, please do me a favor and go over to the blog, askjillsessa.com, and find a place where you can put in your name, your email, your phone number if you care to give it to me. Then that way you'll get on my list. And I'm only going to really be discussing this sort of in emails and some webinars that I put together. So you're going to really want to make sure that you're on the list. This is taking your life to the next level. I happen to think that I don't have a day to waste. I know that to be true. I know that because of circumstances in my own life, but I think that many of you either believe or will come to know that you don't have a day to waste. I want to work with people. I want to be around people that want to harness that. I want to take this discussion to the next level. I think that your business activity can only grow when you put into practice such things that we have learned in the Go-Giver and in the 4 Agreements. I think that when you become a more evolved business person, when you become a more evolved and thoughtful person, you become a more evolved business person. We learned in the Go-Giver that truly the way to grow your network, to grow your business, is to give and to give and to give without expectation of return. It goes deeper than that. Your return will come to you. I think the same thing about putting into practice all 4 of the 4 agreements and then the 5th, which we will talk about. I truly believe that you will reap rewards that now you can hardly even imagine. Even if you are already a student of these works. Deeper practice means that you will reap a reward that we cannot even yet imagine. I believe that about my own life. That's why I'm a student of these. That's why I like to have these discussions. So make sure that you're on my email list. We're going to be introducing that in the next couple of weeks. I don't want you to miss it. If you're sort of in my circle, if you read what I write, I know that you're a leader because leaders are readers. Readers are leaders. And I want to talk to you. I want to deepen this discussion. I want to take on some of your own power, and I'd love to discuss this further. So, again, a little teaser on the 4 Agreements companion book, and a teaser and an extended discussion on the 4 Agreements. Please go grab them. You can click right over to Amazon from the blog. There's, I've got it connected right there. So super easy. I look forward to talking to you. Get in touch with me if you want to talk about this stuff personally, or if you have an issue, if you've read the book and something has really hit you and maybe you want to talk about it with somebody else. Thanks so much. Be you. Be unabashedly you. And I look forward to talking to you the next time.